back-to-back. You wanted to make it a three-peat, 3 in a row, and you guys were going to find the pieces to continue to add to this very talented organization already. Today, Kyle Tucker, officially a Dodger. Can you just talk about what he adds to this organization?
Yeah, it's not too often we have the ability with what our current talent level is to, improve a team by a meaningful amount. I think bringing this caliber of player in who can, do everything that you want in a player, the ability to conduct an at-bat, along with hit for average and power. I think the length that it brings to the lineup is impressive. So, this all doesn't happen without amazing support from our ownership group and continuing to want to pour back into the team as our fans support us. So we're really excited about this move and feel like it puts us in an even better place to win another championship.
There's obviously familiarity with him, whether it was this past year with him on the Cubs, this past being with the Astros. He's had a lot of success in his career. But when did you what has stood out to you just about him and why he would be a really good fit, maybe outside of the baseball side, just kind of with this team?
Yeah, I think from the baseball perspective, it's a guy who doesn't have splits, right? You could argue he hits left-handed pitch even better than right-handed, which is quite rare for a lefty. The Gold Glove caliber defense in the outfield to continue to raise that and help our pitchers out, and his attention to detail. And from talking to him throughout the process, he's really focused on the positioning part and trying to win another Gold Glove. So that combined with, we feel like he's going to fit great in our clubhouse, and we've heard a ton of work of how much he gives back to the community and is involved with that with his wife Sam. So from doing our homework and both on and off the field, we feel like it's a great addition to our team.
How this deal came together, because it kind of felt like after the Edwin Diaz deal, you guys were done. You had said you potentially wanted to add a bat, maybe some more outfield work, but how did this deal really come together, considering he was the top free agent on the market?
Yeah, I think, we talked about all along, like we didn't feel like we needed to do anything with a really talented club. We added Edwin, which was a big piece to the pen, clearly. And then it was like, okay, let's be patient and see what we can do that makes sense to make our club even better. And, having conversations with Kyle and his group throughout the offseason, it started to come into like, hey, maybe this structure, this shorter term is something that would make sense for both sides. And once that happened, we really engaged. And, I think it all came together within about a week, but gaining traction and moving the ball forward once he was like, okay, I think I want to make a decision here soon. So really happy with how it played out.
Yeah, with how this now makes the outfield look. Of course, Dave Roberts just shared that Kyle's going to be playing in right field, Teoscar Hernandez moving to left field. What do you just like about the setup of that and what that can really do for just the defensive aspect of this game in the outfield for his team?
Yeah, I think anytime you get to add a caliber defender like Kyle, it's going to make your outfield better. And we know, Andy had a great year in center field, and then putting Teo in left where he's comfortable. He's done it before, and we know like that this can bring, the full group and, the overall defensive value, certainly bring it up, which in turn helps our pitchers. It's not something you can actually see every day, and we attribute a lot of it to the pitchers, but defense is something that helps in a meaningful way that probably doesn't get attributed too often to winning games.
In the past, we've talked about, I think it was really when Shohei Ohtani first came over, when you looked at the batting order, it was almost like a video game lineup. Does it feel like that now, in just the talent you guys have in this organization, the competitors, and how you now have a different way of looking at the top of the order, what things could potentially look like? Has it been fun for you just kind of putting those pieces together?
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to Blake Snell after the news came out, and I'm like, man, aren't you glad you're on our side and not having to navigate our lineup? So, yeah, I think it's going to be a really hard lineup to navigate, which is the goal, and a lot of different ways to beat you. And I think, the collective unit, nobody having to take on all of the pressure at any given moment, knowing that slumps happen and guys go in and out of hot streaks. But as a whole, when you have this talented of a lineup, that the overall run production should be high.
So Brandon, are you guys done? Are you ever done? Is that a thing?
We're close to done. We can never be done. I won't say anything officially, but we feel very good about this team with spring training a few weeks away.
I love it. Well, it's going to be fun seeing how all of these guys show up and come together in just a few weeks in Arizona. Brandon, congratulations. I know this team is looking for that three-peat, and it's going to be a very exciting year. So thank you, as always, and congrats on today.
Great. Thank you so much.